think I need to go live on the channels themselves. Channels, so we should be live, excellent, live. Good stuff streaming. All right, we're on Studio Play. Hello and welcome. This is Studio Play. We have Moses Andrews III here this evening. We're gonna have a great time talking through his new record called Exodus. We've got a few adjustments we'll be making here as we listen to some of his tracks to get our palates wet with Moses' style. It's a real treat. Moses and I have had extraordinary life experiences together, and so we're really happy to be here doing this thing now. I'm just going to take a couple of minutes here to go ahead and load up sweet, glorious tunes from Moses Andrews III as we get our final sets. We're going to start with Exodus Part 1. You Are My Heart.
Yeah.
Here we go.
What's left? That sunrise.
Put a mic up for us.
Peeking through the blinds of my window, and I'm thinking about that pain in my soul that's no longer. And I think of you, and I'm so glad that I met you. I'm glad that you're by my side.
I got one.
You've changed me, oh, for the better. Never thought that I would be the one that would be your forever. Never thought that this day would come, that we'd spend our whole lives together. When you took this broken heart and this broken man, and now my heart is beating on. And I'm so glad you gave me a reason to love again. Yeah. You are my heart. You are my soul. Yeah. You are my life. Don't let go. You are my heart.
If y'all are with us, jump in the chat. Let us know. Submit some questions. If you got questions for the Q&A, fire them in there.
Jared, I'm just seeing the message. What up?
Jared Earl, Cecil.
Oh, Cecil said, please meet the room.
Oh, sorry, dude. We'll mute the room. We were trying to like make it so you could hang out with us like while we did stuff, but I guess that's not good. We'll mute the room. Ooh, we know this song. How you doing, Jared? Thanks for jumping on, man. We're getting some little last things set up, and then we'll kick right into gear with Moses' new record. But until then, this is all stuff that Moses plays on, so it only seems appropriate, right? So, we're back. We're about to kick this thing up into gear. First and foremost, let's go ahead and just start talking a little bit. So Moses and I, we go way back. Started playing music together in, I guess we officially kicked in about 2011, right?
It was 2012.
About the time?
2012.
All right, so if y'all can, stay in the chat and help us fill in some gaps here as we're honing in stuff. I'm going to try to keep the chat up. And
Do you have to have that unmuted on the PreSonus, not PreSonus, the Mo2 app?
Yes.
Is that channel 1?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so we should be able to hear Moses now.
Hey, what's up?
Sweet.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? How about now?
Cool. All right. So without further ado, we have had a lot of fun playing music together over the years, and we look kind of dark, don't we? It looks dark when I sit down.
Yeah, I'm a little dark as well. Oh yeah, that light that we talked about.
There we go. All right, that's better. All right.
Yeah.
So Moses, you just launched a new record called Exodus Part 2. And how long have you been working on this record?
Well, Cecil will probably know best because the first song on this record that was written is called Happy ? The working title was Happy ? Actually spelled out. Yeah, it was pretty crazy, and I was going through some times, and Cecil was like, "Let's play some music. Let's record some music." And Cecil had come over to our house, and I was like, "Let's just write what's happening right now." And Cecil gave me the challenge: don't be so literal. Just say what comes to mind, and just don't be so literal. But some things that were very literal were, there's no juice in the refrigerator. There's bugs on the floor. Tall grass in my front yard.
Yeah, I always felt like it was just listening to you talk whenever we listened to that one. So
yeah. So that was written. Cecil, when was that written? Was that written in like 2019, 2018? Let's see. It was sometime around there. I'll have to look it up. Maybe 2017. It could have been 2017. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think it was
years
2019.
Ago.
Yeah.
Years ago.
I think it could have been 2019 before the whole world fell apart. So.
Oh, good. All right. So I'm just checking everything coming through. Yes, Jared. Thank you. We are now set with more specific angles. So let's pick a 2-shot of the twos of us. Bam! Look at that. Really fun thing just to introduce the series that we're featuring Moses on. I have been playing around in my home studio because I can't not, and so it's been sort of the focus over my. I've been doing this about a year now, I guess. Yeah, over the past year, trying to hone in a cool live streaming setup in my space so I can play new music for people that I've been writing, so that we can listen to new music from people that I love, and set up a cool like art collaboration space. Because we used to have that in Wentworth whenever we lived in Columbia, South Carolina.
Yeah.
People were just always coming over, always hanging out at the house, and that was the point, and it felt great. And you get to still collaborate a lot with autocorrect in Columbia still, and that's what you're just talking about now, being that sort of core group of people that we all kind of cross-pollinate projects all over the place.
Yeah, good times.
And now we're on your solo record. Is there anything that we want to address? Beautiful folks, thanks Jared. Anything that we want to address before we dive into this record and take a listen? Anything you want to sort of set our palates to and set us up for?
Well, first of all, thank you so much, Alex, for just creating this and just opening your doors. Alex has always been the best friend, and when I had nothing, Alex was there. When I had no one, Alex was there to lift us up, to lift me up, and
That's very sweet, Moses. Do you have anything to say about the record?
I wanted to start there because that's important.
Thanks,
it's important.
Thanks,
I know,
man.
it's important people know when we start playing together, but
Yeah.
people need to know that those times where we're at our lowest, they inspire such great art.
Yeah.
And when you're at your lowest, you should lean into the things that make you comfortable. Lean into things that make you feel good, and people that make you feel good.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for opening the door, giving me a place to live, and also giving me a space to make music and help me explore even deeper depths.
Yeah.
Just in the darkest times there's still light somewhere. So that's what this album is about. And in the darkest times, there's still light. And this album is a roller coaster. I was in such a roller coaster of emotions, on a roller coaster of emotions, and hopefully people felt that when they were listening. Exodus, I chose that name because it
symbolizes me leaving a place, leaving so many different places, especially places of darkness. And if you think, the Israelites, they were, leaving captivity and enslavement, and they were going into the wilderness. And this is part of my wilderness experience. So, and in the wilderness, there comes clarity in a lot of ways. So,
very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, without further ado, buckle in, folks. We're just gonna fire this thing up. And if this is playtime for us. This is how we like to spend it. We hang out, we listen to music, and we write music, and we play it. And now we're doing this whole live stream video thing. So if you have any, ideas or things you want to see on screen, or just let us know. That's the whole point. It's playtime. So let's listen to some awesome music. I can use that term. I know that's a term that gets thrown around. Awesome. People say it a lot, but it truly is awesome, the things that you've taken on in this album. So I'm really excited to share it. And
thank you so much.
Without further ado, I'm going to just pull up Spotify for a minute, and we're just going to make that our touchstone for a second as we listen to Exodus Part 2.
I remember now. The color of the void is the color of my people. The color of the clouds, always out of reach. From the dirt I look upward. I thought the power of the light could satisfy, could erase all history. I've spent my whole life showing how safe I was. I've been tearing myself from the arms of love. But time after time, line after line, trying to zip my lips so that I can be inclined to ride the coattails of privilege and try to get ahead, to show I was a good boy. The only thing black about me was my skin. I'd forsaken my family and blackety black friends. Now I'm reaching out, now I reach within. I try to get back to my black confidence. You don't have to prove yourself. You don't have to show your wealth. You don't have to switch it up and lose yourself. You don't have to give up. You just have to live it up. No matter what they say, keep on being black. I can't believe I didn't see the bigger image in front of me. I could have sworn that if I died to self, I'd be accepted here. All that I'd hoped to gain, all that I'd hoped to win, hoping that I climbed the ladder and mattered more to the powers that be. All the white saviors, all wanting favors. Dance, little monkey, you don't make enough to be my neighbor. I've always known color ever since I was a baby. When was the moment it became unsafe for people like me, huh? When was the moment I had gone from cute to scary? Miles will go through the same thing, just trust me. Doesn't matter your ethnicity, your race, your family history. One drop is all that it took, but I'm finally proud of being black. It's always been around, you just couldn't see it. It's always been in plain sight, you just won't believe it. You probably don't even shake when you hear the sirens, even though you did nothing to feel the heat behind you. Some would say that I've come from a long line of servants. Long line of yes ma'am, no ma'am, just smiling on the surface. Get the scraps or get the strap, we're just surviving. Just to work and work and work again, just to sit and be silent. All these parents going to the school board to show their privilege, to take the story back, to rewrite history for their benefit. All these years of suffering as a result of slavery. But the songs of suffering were songs that made me. The sound of change turning into shouts of praise, raising my prayers, a lament until my pain's erased. If you can't understand why we keep pushing through the dark, stop trying to change the narrative or change who we really are. Cause black is beautiful. You don't have to prove yourself. You don't have to show your wealth. Cause black is beautiful. You don't have to switch it up and lose yourself. Black is beautiful. You don't have to give up. You just have to live it. Black is beautiful. No matter what they say, keep on being does it feel to be black? I've been separated from my culture too long. As I sort through these thoughts, it's never occurred to me that I've spent my whole life trying to be white. A white male in blackface. Trust me, I wish I had time to celebrate my blackness. But I've only had time for work. I only have time to work and work and work. We gotta work twice, 3 times, 4 times as hard to show that we're working. But it's time to find my joy again. It's time to find my black joy again. I need to find my home. I need to go back home.
Amazing. I mean, it's amazing, Moses. You know, you're speaking some really intense stuff about your own identity in there. You're speaking some really intense stuff about an entire cultural pressure, and it's like you're just setting the stage for this, you know, really profound album. Now, that said, you have a line that's hilarious to me in this record, on this song, where you say, "You don't have to give up." And you don't actually cuss. The funny thing, everybody, is that Moses doesn't actually cuss in real life, like ever. I mean, you can hear him say all sorts of substitutes. So while it seems like an edit to try to make the song, you know, radio friendly, it's actually Moses being a character of himself. And the reason I'm saying this is because when you don't cuss, it changes the whole attitude of the way things are happening for everybody involved. And I'm a big believer that our words that we choose shape our thoughts as much as our thoughts shape the words we choose. And so the more we say things, the more it makes us think these things. And that's like a big deal to me, because, you know, whenever you put somebody down, you see that person as less. You know, you start seeing that. And I guess what I would want to ask is, you know, in what ways can we start speaking that wouldn't make you feel like this? You know, in the way that you have felt like black isn't beautiful. How can we start talking culturally? What kind of things can we talk about? How can we speak and celebrate in order to make that not happen? To make you hide away from your heritage and hide away from what makes you you, you know?
Well, the first thing is that we should remember that a lot of things in American culture came from different black cultures. You know, just think about music, country even. Country music, blues, jazz, rock and roll, even other, you know, like gospel music. I mean, of course people think about gospel music, but even a lot of Christian music, it comes from black culture. And if we think through all the things that America has, it comes from another culture, comes from people of color. And while this history that we have as a nation, it may look one way, we have to think like where all these things came from. So I feel empowered when I think, wow, okay, this singing, you know, the slave songs, you know, that inspired so many different styles of music. You know, singing through joy, singing through pain, singing joy in pain. That's why the line, "If you can't see while we're pushing through the dark," you know, I mean, and also talking about prayers of lament in that song, singing prayers of lament until my pain's erased. You know, singing songs of praise and, you know, songs of happiness and joy, even when times are dark, even when people put us down. And so, yeah, and also empowering the voices of other people, amplifying them, and not just assimilating in these different spaces. Like me being in so many church contexts, people of color brought in to create diversity and to show unity, but their voice is rarely heard. It's more they're just a face in that space. And it's important that we hear what makes the person and showing exactly what makes the person and highlighting that and shedding light on that.
That's so as a celebration.
Yeah.
So celebrating not just, you as a person,
Mm.
but everything that's brought you to become this person.
Yeah.
All of the culture, all of the, the relationships that have formed you, that were formative as you came along. And then I think it's really cool you point out, recognizing how much of our history is shaped by black culture.
Mm-hmm.
And how, like, it's so easy to just whitewash our historical understanding of things. So that's a really, really thoughtful point. I mean, we had talked earlier when we were talking about celebrating and Juneteenth and Black History Month and these things, and not looking at them as just another celebration and day to cook out. But you said these are days to educate.
Yeah, celebrate, but also educate. It's not; those are not days to just be off and sure, be with your family, and but it's not a day to just have fun. It's a day to spend time learning about, like, why are we here? Why that day is there? The significance, the weight of the day, and learning more about why we celebrate that. So,
well, let's kick into the next song here, which. I mean, I think we're going to let it speak for itself here. But one thing to point out, if we're just going to talk sheerly from a musical standpoint, I feel like you're basically playing every genre on Top 40 radio that exists on this record, which is really cool to me because it just shows your depth of musicianship, in addition to how many things you can feel, in your heart. But we're going to play the next song, and it might make you squirm in your seat, and it probably should. We're just going to go ahead and throw that out there. So, track 2, I Know Everything About Black People. And now I'm the white guy on screen saying it. All right. Y'all buckle up. This is a fantastic song. Just hang in there.
You remind me of my friend from Pennsylvania. You got the same afro hair. Okay. You have the same gospel singing voice. You have the same smile. He always talked about hair grease. Oh, brother, you're just alike. What are those things in your head, though? Looks like someone cut your hair with a knife. Excuse me. Oh, those are cornrows, braids. What are those? I just don't understand. But I think you need to take them out. Cut your hair like a man. Okay. Oh, but you know what? I absolutely love MLK. Cause he opposed communism. Yeah, that's right. We got you here at this church now. And I believe there's no such thing as racism. No need to talk about what you black and brown people need. Ain't no other truth but the Bible that we read. There's no need to share your thoughts because I know I'm right. I know every single thing about black people. You got your gospel music, your hip hop, and your rap. There's only one good genre out of that. I read Christian posts and they say CRT is the poison that the culture feeds our children every day. You know, CRT and the gospel don't go together, and we don't need equality. Black people don't experience discrimination. Because you know what, Moses? You are friends with me, my friend. You're one of the good ones, Moses, I hope you know. And you are so articulate. When I told you to take that post down about your running with the cops, you took it down like the good boy I knew you could be. My life was in danger. Every time I think of you, I don't see no black until you tell me that I'm wrong about everything. But you're wrong, you don't know what you're talking about, 'cause I have a doctorate in ministry, and I'm so many levels smarter than you. No need to talk about what you black and brown people need. Ain't no other truth but the Bible that we read. There's no need to share your thoughts because I know I'm right. I know every single thing about black people. No need to talk about what you black and brown people need. Ain't no other truth but the Bible that we read. There's no need to share your thoughts because I know I'm right. I know every single thing about black people. Oh, I believe if we try to just be colorblind, we would all see the world a little bit differently. Oh, MLK would have wanted us. He would have wanted us to all be the same. So let's just forget about race. Let's just forget about slavery and whatever ethnicity is. No need to talk about what you black and brown people need. Ain't no other truth but the Bible that we read. There's no need to share your thoughts because I know I'm right. I know every single thing about black people. No need to talk about what you black and brown people need. Ain't no other truth but the Bible that we read. There's no need to share your thoughts because I know I'm right. I know every single thing about black people. Oh, my friends, if you could see that black don't mean that much to me, but I still know every single thing about black people. Yeah, about black people. Like fried chicken, watermelon, and macaroni and cheese. Mm-mm.
The deep sigh at the end. That's what kicks us off, right? That's on the track, actually, everybody. Just so you're aware, that's not actually just us sighing in the room. It's also on the track. So yeah, I mean, obviously, Moses, pretty pointed song. You kind of pop it on the nose. A lot of direct quotes from your life. that it's just so easy to recognize, like we were talking about when we were talking about how language shapes the way you think, and when you use language that pigeonholes your perception of people, that's your perception.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's what you're stuck with. So, that said, you're a music minister. You're a man that connects people to their creator, through music ministry, and you spend so much time, dwelling in how to connect people to something that is going to be truly meaningful, and find God and what they're doing.
Yeah.
We had talked about some of the differences between your history growing up in the black church, and some of the white churches that you've been a part of, and some of the ways that they're affirming and they're reaching out and they're trying to create more inclusive communities, but also feeling like you have so much to offer from your perspective.
Yeah.
And I guess I just want to give you a chance to talk about that a little bit, because it's one of those things that I know so much of the things that you express that just are so from the core, that bring people to a place of reverence and bring people to a place of recognition. And I guess what opportunities would you like to see happen in white churches that are just kind of missing the mark right now? If you wanted to be able to give a recommendation, because I know a lot of churches that are working really hard to say, we're trying to make diversity on our plate. This is important to us, and it's sometimes more delicately done in some places than it is in others. And I guess I just want to open it up to you to sort of just let us know what do you think needs to happen there, to give people like you, music ministers, a voice.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's important to remember, when you bring people who don't look like you into your space, your place of comfort, don't just let their presence be the box you check. Give them a place to belong, a place to be comfortable. Don't put it on them to try to create diversity, because there were people who looked at me in different spaces and they were like, well, we got Moses, so that's diversity, but like I said earlier, amplify their voices. It's important to note that when you are the only one in a space, it's uncomfortable. Sometimes you feel surrounded, and it's also important to actually ask those people of color like how they feel. Check in with them. I fortunately had a few people who've checked in with me, people who have loved my family, but it's important that you learn who the person is, and not just say we have Moses there and that's it, and just be a passive person. It's important to just learn about the culture of people more than what you learned in elementary, middle, high school, even college. Some people skip over those classes in college, and they skip over those experiences in college as well, and they draw to people who help them feel comfortable.
Yeah.
So, yeah, don't bring people into your space and have them assimilate. It's important that you amplify their voice, but also learn and try to include their culture that they bring. The culture that they bring is important, and there could be something that everyone learns from blending cultural and actually breaking down cultural boundaries.
Yeah.
So there's so much there, and when you assimilate, or when you have people assimilate to whatever you're comfortable with, you sanitize things. So don't tell them to be silent, and also have people of color in power that actually use their power, who actually use their influence. Yep. So that's a huge thing, especially in an evangelical context. Being a person who's grown up in a black church, a black Baptist church, You know, we heard messages about, you know, I am somebody, you know. You know, growing up on Green Line, also Jesse Jackson Townhomes. You know, Jesse Jackson is a person, you know, a lot of you may remember, you know, the things he said. You know, I am somebody, you know. Yeah, so we heard messages like that. And also the Black church experience, the Black church tradition is expansive. But that's a common thing you hear. You know, I am somebody. You find out where you're a person that needs love. You know, so there's only so many times you can hear like I'm filthy rags and I'm just dirt. I'm dust.
Yeah.
I'm nothing.
Yeah.
You know, there are only so many times you can hear that. But everyone needs love, and that's what I try to say from the platform. Mm-hmm. Whenever I'm on the platform, I make sure people know that they are loved and they're not an accident. They are created in the image of God, who's a loving creator. So,
thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, it was very long-winded, but
no, I mean that's
Yeah.
that's beautiful. It's beautiful. Yeah, that's beautiful. That was complete. You had said something in there. You used the word sanitized, and I thought that was a really cool word. You know, especially since one of the things you love is fermenting peppers and brewing and kimchi and all these flavors that require these interactions. They take time. They take time for these things to interact with each other to create the flavor. And that is, you know, what the thing at the end that is so beautiful and tasty is that flavor, right? And so that's a really interesting word you use there, because in that context, when those things don't get a chance to mix and interact, you lose that. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, let's jump on to the next one. We have Mosaic. Anything you want to prep us for, or should we just jump right in?
Do you have a question before we start that?
I don't know. No, I mean, I obviously I have thoughts on it, but let's listen to it. Let's listen to it. It's a beautiful song. Again, like I was saying before, we're gonna hear nearly every genre of music that you can hope to hear. So we've heard this sort of country pizzazz on our last one, almost satirical country, I'd say, and then
well, honky tonk badonkadonk is something that's
honky tonk badonkadonk. All right. Well, now stepping away from that, let's hear this next song. It's called Mosaic.
I remember your voice on the phone. We talked till the cows came home. Snoring all night just felt right. And I see the door to your home covered in lamb's blood. Do they really want me over? Do you want me over? Or do you want my love to pass over you? I still remember that call, yelling but still so sweet, breaking my heart. And so I pick up the pieces and glue them back together like a love mosaic. 'Cause broken doesn't mean you're not beautiful. Broken, still beautiful. I still feel can't seem to shake them somehow. Every jagged edge cuts a through. Guess I can't let go. Guess I can't let go. Guess I'll still hold on to you. Still holding on strong till another comes along. They see the cuts on my fingers from picking all the glass out my hands. But is the pain worth it though? This love don't have to go. Call me when you need some more. Back and forth through this revolving door. I'll revolve around you some more. Guess that's what I'm living for.
So, gorgeous stuff. Mr. Alex Skyro on that lead guitar line. You're just saying you knew it was him.
When that song
had to be.
When that song was written, I just knew that Alex Skyro was going to be the guy for the job.
Yeah.
I was like, no one else, just Alex Skyro.
Yeah.
But I want to thank Alex Skyro for playing on that one and a couple others, but also Sean Thompson played on I Know Everything About Black People, and if you've seen what Sean had written about playing on the record, he's like every moment he had to just like cringe because of how just gritty it was. That whole song is just packed with stuff. But Alex Skyro also played, and Cecil Decker also plays on the record too. Cecil is a big contributor to this album as well.
Yeah,
so.
Cecil's in the chat. Hey, Cecil.
Hey, Cecil.
So yeah, Cecil's a magician with all things, but in addition to the fact he can play every instrument, Cecil can sculpt every instrument.
Cecil is a sound designer.
Well, one of his many hats, and that's a good one. I mean, that's one he wears very well. But yeah, so he mastered this one, right? The whole record.
The whole record, Cecil mastered. I had the pleasure of mixing it because I had so many like tiny little details that I wanted to hit, and at first I wanted Cecil to mix it and master it, or mix it and then send someone to master. And Cecil was like, "Do you just want to mix the thing?" And I'm like,
"You know what you want."
I'm like, "Okay, yeah." And are you still gonna be involved in some way? Cecil was like, "Yeah, whatever you want, just let me know."
Yeah.
And I also want to thank Zach Thomas for recording some of the things on this record too. A lot of the drum tracks were recorded in Jam Room Recording Studio.
Nice.
Over South Prospect Street.
Yep, Columbia shout out.
Yeah,
nice.
Columbia, what up? So yeah, Jay Matheson, Zach Thomas. Got Dave over there doing some big work at the Audio Institute as well. So yeah, and some of the bass tracks were recorded at Jam Room as well. I have a pleasure of being one of their session musicians there, playing organ and things like that. So
yeah.
Yeah.
So that actually segues really well. I'm gonna aim this just a smidgen toward you.
Okay.
All right. Oh, sorry.
Cecil's eyes, by the way.
Cecil. So, before we get too far away, let's address some. Jared put a really, really great point. Yes. In the chat. Do you ever feel like there's a risk of profiling people simply by attempting to create that sort of environment without really knowing what that means? And I think he was talking about, whenever we were talking about churches and opening up and trying to maybe over cater to people and sort of make it seem almost a little bit like
favoritism or something?
like a pseudo welcome. It's like
gotcha.
We welcome you, and we're putting on all this stuff to sort of try to make you, we're laying it out and sort of buttering you up almost, rather than opening up the doors.
Right.
Jared, maybe you could just drop a note in to see if that's sort of what it is you were trying to say. As a matter of fact, I'll give you a minute to drop a note in that. We'll come back to that. Let's talk about Jam Room a little bit.
Yeah,
so
Jam Room.
You're playing on records a lot on Jam Room, a lot of different styles. And even wider, you play in a list of bands that is astonishing. I mean, you sent me like a 2-page PDF.
Was that 2 pages?
Of all the projects you're on.
Wow.
And it was like just the vast span of genres that you're playing. And we had talked about musical boundaries. I'm going to pull this up because this song is such a great song. There's a lot to be said about that, and I want to talk about the song a little bit, but I want to talk about the musical boundaries. You had mentioned when you were younger that you didn't really have as many musical boundaries. You kind of just played whatever you wanted to, and now you feel like you have more. And I guess I'm wondering, especially for young musicians out there who are trying so hard to improve a specific skill, that they can really lean on for their careers, and they're practicing, day and night to try to do this thing. How do those boundaries serve you, and how does stepping away from those boundaries complement that?
Well, first I want to say, parents, like, if your child is learning something, an instrument, a skill, whatever, let them explore.
Yeah.
Let them explore, because learning how to play so many different instruments and how to play them so many different ways, exploration is an important part of growth. Learning how to do something so many different ways, that creates this ability to go in so many different directions. I can only play in so many different genres because, well, one, my mom, she kind of helped me with that. With every single record she played on the turntable, in the cassette player, on the stereo. She still has that stereo, by the way, has a turntable at the top. Every single tape she played in the car, every single CD, it was so different. So that was a huge influence to, my, I don't really have a style, I don't really have a home.
You're everywhere.
Yeah.
This record is perfect proof of that. You're everywhere on this record.
Yeah. So starting out, learning what sounds make what genre, learning the direction people were going in, also kind of taking little bits and pieces of that, I began to not have any boundaries whatsoever when I started learning music. And I was like, I'm going to try this thing, I'm going to try that thing, any combination of notes, any combination of sounds, I wanted to make them. But the older I got, the wall started to go up. Older I'd gotten, so I went to USC, studied percussion, and it was classical, and I also did steel bands, and so that was something.
You played bass on that record, didn't you?
Yeah, I played bass.
Yeah.
I played bass in the steel band. I played bass pans one semester, and it was a lot of moving around, playing these big old oil drums. But then I was back on bass, and that was like home. But the older I gotten, the more, or I guess this more narrow the path became. I had to make harder turns to try to do things, and some people know what they want to hear. Some people are like, okay, I know I need to play this thing, and some people kind of put themselves in these boxes. They're like, I'm going to be a classical musician, or I'm going to be a blues organist, I'm going to be a pedal steel player, I'm going to be a drummer, and only a drummer. And trust me, this world is saturated with drummers, so I had to find some other way to make music. So it's important. Exploration is important.
Nice.
And that's the only reason I could just go in any direction. And I, on this record, started challenging myself to just make sounds that were weird. You'll hear in some other songs that there's sounds in the background that are just crazy,
Yeah.
But I just love that, because I'm starting to open up again, starting to explore a little more and not just stick to one thing. Because I love diversity. So why can't sound be that way?
Why can't sound be like the world? Why can't the world be like sound, right?
Yeah.
So with all that, Jared replied in the chat, and he said that that was about what we were talking about. Sort of, how do you keep it from being this fake? This fake welcome, to make it seem like a
right.
This is his exact word here.
Overstep
your bounds near your profiles, and when you try to make them feel comfortable, right?
Okay, so I think I have something. Especially the last couple of years, I've had people reach out to me asking, like, how can, like, they're like, I've invited someone to my church, I've invited someone to my space, whatever that may be, but they aren't coming around, and or they don't want to, they're just not comfortable. And that's when I say, go to where they are comfortable first. Go to
You want them to come to your church, go to their church first.
Yeah. Go to whatever makes them feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And I mean, shoot, you don't have to. Well, maybe you have to wait to get an invitation to the cookout. I don't know, but I mean, I'll invite everybody to my cookouts. But yeah, the cookout, the invite to the cookout, that's such an important thing. But go to where they are comfortable. Don't try to control anything. Yeah. Learn what makes them tick. Learn about them and just be genuine. Yeah. Because if you learn what makes them comfortable, and then you could try to authentically create spaces that welcome people, that make them feel comfortable, just by walking in and not be bombarded by a lot of things that may send them out the door again. Just authentically try to create space for them. But first, go to where they are comfortable. That's an important thing to remember when you are trying to invite people into a place that makes you comfortable. Mm-hmm. You know, since I'm always in a church context,
man. You play in every venue in town. Yeah.
I play in a lot of venues, but a big part of my life has gone to worship ministry, and I just like picking on churches, because so many different kinds, so many different people. Mm-hmm. But I feel that in some church contexts, they just don't know. They haven't exercised that muscle to go where they are uncomfortable, to go and grow. Because some people say, if you are uncomfortable, then growth is happening. Just go where you're not in the center of things. Yeah. Go where you're not, the light is not on you. And then you can learn how people feel when they are in your space.
So, maybe not feeling like you need to create this experience for somebody, but instead go to their experience and then draw from that.
Yeah, and it's whether you're in a church, a restaurant, a grocery store on the other side of town, go there. Yeah. Because you get to see who they are. Learn about who they are, and not just what you hear on the radio, what you hear or see on the TV. Because I'm going to tell you, I was on tour years ago with a band, and my first show, we played in a service that morning in Shamokin Dam, Pennsylvania. And it was a Mennonite church, and in that area, not a lot of people knew what black people were like, because they had never had proximity to them. They only saw what was on TV or read what was in books, but they've never really been around people like that. So yeah, it's important that you go to where other people, especially people of color, are comfortable, and where you may feel uncomfortable, because that'll give you a sense of what it feels like to be on the other side. Good stuff. I hope that answered your question.
Yeah. I think we know Jared. Jared can. He can. Yes, that feels good. Thanks.
Awesome.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks, Jared. That was a great question.
Amazing question. Yeah. Thank you so much for asking.
Yeah. So I think, at this point, maybe we can move on to our next song. There's a lot we could say about Mosaic. It's a really powerful song, but maybe that's a great reason to have you back. Do a deep dive into Mosaic. Maybe make a music video or something.
That could be cool. Yeah.
Okay. All right. We'll toy with that idea then. This next song is called Happy. And I remember when you sent this song, when you guys did this song the first time, and I got that Dropbox link, and it's a fun one. So now for something completely different.
No juice in the refrigerator. There's bugs on the floor. There's tall grass in my front yard, and there's lost time in my head. Through all the dark, I still can see
Thanks for your note, Cecil. Breathe. Moses was just saying on that last one, you wanted to, how long were you going to hold it?
Breathe. Just longer.
Just longer. That's all. If you can't hold it, you might as well hold it till the end. So I remember when you sent me this, and I thought it was just like you talking, like because of all the the lyrics. It just sounded like you talking, like, "Oh man, there's no juice in the refrigerator. There's bugs on the floor." Like I felt like I was sitting around talking with you, and these were the lyrics. You said something about these lyrics. All of the grammatical errors were intentional.
They were intentional, yeah.
Okay.
Tell us about there's there's bugs on the floor. You know, that one, you know, and there are a few of them in the first song as well, but yeah, I mean, they're intentional because, I mean, sometimes you just feel weird when you're in a weird place, and, you know, sometimes lyrics have to reflect that, I feel, you know. They have to reflect how weird you feel in the moment, and, you know, that, and I think I mentioned earlier, that song, Cecil and I were working together at my house, and Cecil challenged me to not be so literal, but there were some literal lyrics in there.
Yep.
You know, no juice. I wanted some orange juice that day. There was no juice in the fridge. You know, there were bugs on the floor just laying out there. You know, tall grass. I didn't want to mow the lawn, or maybe our lawnmower had broken or something. I don't remember, but one of those. I mean, they could both be accurate, but
well, I guess Cecil's challenge to write less literal lyrics. Maybe we want to use for later, like a challenge you try later, right? That's fine too.
Something abstract.
Now you had recently joined a songwriting collective.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
So, I had written one of these songs on this record, and I had sent it to a friend, Steve, and Steve was like, "This is amazing. I need to get back to writing, but would you want to start a songwriting collective or something?" And I'm like, yeah, because I need to work on this thing, this lyric writing thing, because I've always been a person to just write music and arrange music, compose music for other people, and lyric writing was something I really need to work on. And there's some really cool songwriters in there, and there's some songwriters who have been itching to write for a while, and it's been a while since they've written a song, and you know they're in that group. There's some really good songwriters in the Columbia, in the Midlands of South Carolina, and I think we wanted to get people who just haven't actively been writing, and they just need to get back in the groove.
Yeah.
And
well, it's like having that community, like, you know, the small challenges. Like Cecil, you had just put in the chat the exercise for shoes. You used the word painterly. That was the word he used with me when he was trying to coach me to write a lyric. He said this lyric needs to be more painterly. Like, and I was thinking, hey, I don't know what that means, but it took me a second, and I was thinking, okay, it needs to give you an image, you know. So it's like all of a sudden that was like the exercise, and having that group of people to help you, you know, hey man, have you tried this? And then all of a sudden you write something you wouldn't have written because you got that challenge. And you know, to be perfectly honest, like that's why I'm doing this, like this whole studio play thing, because like, you know, this sense of, you know, isolation is not exactly the right word, but the sense that we don't have that like living room that we had at Wentworth, right? We don't have that big living room anymore. It was just this open space. People could bring in their amps and their keyboards and their tables full of gadgets. You know, Cecil and Chris and Sean.
Chrome Desires.
Chrome Desires, right? And you know, Solomon in there playing, and Pat Chapman in there playing, and Zay in there playing. I mean, all these people coming in and playing on instruments that were there, and then all the other people coming in and bringing instruments. And it's like, you want to be able to resonate, and people be like, hey man, that's cool. You know, and so that's what I was hoping this thing could do for us, is make a space where we get to share things and try stuff out. And you know, and so that's like the exhilaration of that effort as a group. And so I think that's really cool. When did you join that collective, that songwriting collective?
It was recent. It was it early this year? It was March, I believe.
Yeah.
February, March, one of those months, and I was like, all right, this is great. One of the first songs I've written was I think that, so we get prompts every month. We get a prompt, and sometimes it includes 2 objectives. And the first one was write about nature or either things in nature or human nature. And I forget what the second part of that prompt was, but it was challenging. So I wrote about the wind, and
as you do when you write about nature.
Yeah, and I kind of wrote that song in the form of like one of the songs John Mayer had written on Paradise Valley, which is one of my favorite records because it's just the sounds.
Yeah.
There was some organ in there, and there was some pedal steel that just really just got sunk down into my soul. So yeah, pedal steel and organ, they are so similar, and it really gets me. So
well, speaking of organ, your next track, "Do You Love Me?" It's got some organ on there, don't it?
It does have some organ on there.
And I guess this is a good time. What all did you do on this record? I mean, what did you play? Who did you call in for it? We said Skyro, we said Cecil, we said Sean.
Yeah, Sean, Cecil, Alex Skyro. Let's see. Those were the only musicians I called to play on this record.
So
everything else
is you.
Yeah, Cecil played guitar on IOU and also Happy. Yeah, actually, Happy. Cecil did the thing.
Yeah.
Doing all that. There's some acoustic hidden in there I didn't know about. There are a lot of guitar tracks on there on Happy ?
Yeah. Question mark.
Yeah. Yeah. Sean did acoustic, electric, and lap steel on track 2, and Alex Skyro did all the guitar on Mosaic. Had done a lot of the guitar on "Do You Love Me?" I actually have a little hidden guitar part on there.
Ooh, all right.
So. Yeah, back when I was writing the song, I was like, I have to sketch this out because I know guitar is going to be on this track.
Yep.
Cecil, did some guitar on IOU as well as Alex Skyro.
But I mean, I guess that's the takeaway. Whenever we hear some of these things, it's all Moses. It's all you.
Well, Cecil did the drum programming on Happy as well.
Okay, yeah, the drum program, but like the live drums, that's you. The bass, that's you. The organ, that's you. The piano, that's you. Some of those guitar parts, that's you. All the backup vocals. I mean, it's like, you're a powerhouse. I mean, that's all it is. We'll just let that sit. Next song, "Do You Love Me?" Let's hear it.
Baby girl, you know it just ain't that simple, baby. Cause I've been feeling this thing for a while. Yeah. I know we've drifted apart. Drifted as time has gone along, as time has gone. But let me ask you this question now, baby. Do you still love me, baby? Yes, we have. Now tell me, baby, can we get back on this road? I know. You don't feel like making that trip back home to where we were. Tell me, baby, I got a question. I know it's been a while since you heard it. Do you still love me? Try to fix this. Maybe we do need some therapy. I'm trying to make it right. Let's get back to who we were.
So you're talking. We were just in here talking a little bit about just some studio stuff. You said originally you started with a bunch of bass effects on that one, right?
Yeah, there were like maybe 4 or 5 things on the bass, and Cecil's probably going to say, well, why don't you have that on everything? You know? Signal chains, awesome. But I haven't gotten to that point yet. So I think I was trying to be like Cecil and put like a bunch of stuff on there, and I was like, man, I'm not doing this right. So then I got to like the last like couple of things we dropped in. So like Alex's tracks. And I was like, man, that bass just sounds so big. It sounds too big. And the other things, too. So everything just sounded super processed. And I was like, let me just make this effect inactive. Let me just take everything off the bass, make it inactive. Mm-hmm. And it still had, like, some of the original, like, Pro Tools plugins on some of those channels, some of those tracks. And I'm like, let me just go ahead and just switch that out. Put some wave stuff on there. Because some of the wave stuff may take up a bunch of CPU, but some of it doesn't. Yeah. So I'm like, let me just throw this F6, dynamic EQ on there with the RTA. Yeah. Let me see what that's about.
So hold it down a little bit.
Yeah, held it down a little bit. Didn't compress too much, but I could pull out, or I could boost and cut anything I wanted and see it just happen in real time. And it was just beautiful. And I just love doing that. So that bass on there no longer sounds too big, and you can still feel the bottom and also hear it speaking a little bit in there.
mean, it's okay. You know, I've gotten the note. You know, relatively recently, even during a sound check. You know, the director looked over and he's like, "Hey man, you think we could just take that bass a little bit? You know, just bring that down a little less boomy." And I was like, "Yeah, okay." Yeah, so it is easy to go too far when you get excited about that low end. So.
Yeah, I get so excited about low end. You know, I just want to hear all the boom. You know, make everything sound like an 808. You know, everything sound just you know, just thick.
Well, let's look at this song. Do You Still Love Me? You're pretty exposed in this song here. It's it's definitely different than some of the others, and in the way that you're sort of coming hat in hand here. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
What's up here? What's going on in this song?
So
tell us what's going on.
Yeah, so this song, when I wanted to put this record out, I wanted to be honest. Mm-hmm. I feel like music should be honest. It's an expression. If it's an expression or a form of expression, then we should be honest with it, just completely, and not just write songs that just make people happy, not just write songs just because we can, but write songs that represent what we're experiencing and what we do, and also what we do wrong. And when you're in relationships, you make mistakes, and this song, you know, I've made mistakes in relationships, you know, throughout all time. I've made mistakes in our marriage. I'm married to a beautiful young lady, Jenny, and we have a son, Miles, who's 2.5, and he teaches us so much every day. And he shows us how, I guess, how much more we should learn. But you know, sometimes I stay out too late at a show. Sometimes I, you know, forget to pick up the groceries. You know, sometimes I forget to do so many things. Sometimes I forget to love her. And I make so many mistakes. And this, you know, asking a question in this song is, do you still love me? You know, and sometimes I feel like she's, you know, she should be asking me that. You know, but do you still love me? I'm just checking in. You know, and I'm talking about being on my knees and begging, and sometimes I think about it. I'm like, you know what? Like, what should I change? You know, and sometimes I feel like I'm just gonna give up on music because sometimes that's the thing that's in the way. Yeah, I mean, but sometimes that's the thing, and sometimes it's the work that's getting in the way. Right. The work that we do, and sometimes it's draining, and sometimes I come home just so tired and sad and just not happy because I'm just being drained, and I come home and then I project it onto Jenny. Yeah. I project it onto my wife. So it's important to know when we make mistakes. Yeah. And even in our weakness, learn how to deal with some of these things and learn how to talk them out. Yeah. So learn how to ask questions but mainly how to talk through them, and therapy is important as well. Yeah. And this kind of goes into the next song, but see a therapist if you can, if you have time, and or make time for a therapist. Yeah. I've had jobs that didn't let me, or they scheduled over my therapy appointments. Yeah, and that's not a job you want to have. No. It's not support. Yeah, it's not supporting your good mental health. Yeah. So, yeah, remember in relationships, knowing when you are wrong is important. Yeah. And knowing how to make up for that, but also learning how to grow from that. Yeah. And yeah, that's all I'll say about that.
Cool. Yeah, no, we, you and I are cut from the same cloth. We have a way of letting our dreams take us down too many paths. Yeah. Simultaneously. Everything. Want to do everything all the time.
Yeah, all the time.
And yeah, we kind of sometimes
leave the people closest to us holding the bag. And that's, it's great to see a song in there that comes, right back to that. You're speaking on such high levels of, social relationships and people and big change. We're talking about some big issues and how to find self-worth in that context. And then, we come right back here to this talking with your spouse. Baby, are we going to reset this thing? Are we going to be on the same page again? So, you said this next one, you're touching on some mental health issues. You're touching on some self-worth issues. Really powerful piece. Want to just jump right in?
Yeah, let's just
jump right in.
That.
Okay. Let me pull up the lyrics here. This next song is called I Owe You.
I'm feeling like I owe everybody something. Barely have enough to give. Why do I always end up empty? That's no good way to live. I'm sick and tired of not receiving. I've given everything. Is this the end? Pouring myself out, Lord have mercy. I don't deserve any good. The way I've lived this life, I've given all I could. Can you hear me? Are you listening? There's no use anyway. I'm here for you, but not for me. I'm only good enough for work, not good enough for love. Late nights for another week. I can't sleep for more than 5 hours. Just wake up disappointing everybody. No love, no power. I feel the heat from the embers. My own personal dumpster fire. Am I an imposter? 'Cause I feel like an imposter. Pouring myself out, Lord have mercy. I don't deserve any good. The way I've lived this life, I've given all I could. Can you hear me? Are you listening? Can you hear me calling out to you? Oh. what's left of me but a shell? Pouring myself out. I keep pouring myself out. Pouring myself out. Pouring myself out. Lord have mercy, I don't deserve any good. The way I've lived this life, I've given what I could. Can you hear me? Are you listening? Are you listening? For me, I'm only good enough for work. I'm not good enough for love. I'm here for you, but not for me. I'm only good enough for work. I'm not good enough for love.
So, this song is, it hits, it hits a lot on your value as a person versus your value as a utility, right? And I can speak with great confidence that it is a total treat to have Moses on your project. Period. It's great to have Moses doing the thing, that's helping your dream come to life, right? And so it's awesome to have you on anything that you'll be a part of. And yet, it's really clear to see how, these lyrics, they put you in this position where you just give and give and give and give and give.
Yeah.
And for me, I kind of struggle with some of the same things you talk about here when you're just kind of laying everything out there and you feel like I don't deserve the thing that's going to make me feel good.
Mm-hmm.
But inherently, music makes us feel good. This is what drives us, right? We love this thing.
Yeah.
And it's also become our careers. It's become our professions.
Mm-hmm.
It's become how we make money, how we do business. And I guess I just want you to touch on that. How are you finding balance? Are you finding balance? Maybe that's the better question. Are you finding balance, Moses? And you know what? Maybe if you can't practice it, can you at least preach it a little bit about how to find that balance between something that's going to intrinsically satisfy you so much and feed you But then knowing where that line is, that work-line balance in that thing that feeds you. It's. I'm not asking the question great, but hopefully you can make something out of that puddle of mud.
I think that's a band. So I love what I do so much, and music has been a part of my life for a long time. And when there was a pastor at my home church, he told me, "I will pay you $25 a week to just close out the service. You know, I'm going to get up and preach, and you'll come up to the organ when I'm closing my sermon.
Play us
out, play us out, play during the altar call, and then play a little bit after church. You know, after the benediction, whatever." And I was like, yeah. And that day, I mean, he heard me play a song, and that day he was going to preach in Asheville, North Carolina. And I mean, I guess is that the only Asheville? Yeah, he was going to preach in Asheville, and the choir was going to sing with him, but they thought he was going to play. But he wanted me to play, so I played. And after about a month or two, he increased that amount, and after some time, he increased that amount again and again, and it became something that I enjoyed doing, but it became work.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a common theme in like the rest of my life. I played music because I loved it, but also because I made money through music, and became a professional in music, recording and all that stuff. But some people like to exploit.
Mm-hmm.
Some people say, "Wow, you can do this thing and that thing and that thing. Just do everything."
Yeah. And then your job isn't just playing music and leading worship, but doing like 1,000 other things.
Yeah.
Because you can.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can. I mean, you can. So why won't you? Right? I mean, you can set up that thing. You know how to do computers, don't you? Oh yeah. So then all of a sudden, like you're an IT guy, musician. It's like, so yeah. I mean, scope creeping. It happens.
Yeah.
But. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, you
derail. I have
good.
some thoughts on it.
Yeah, but then sometimes it turns into like, okay, you're hired for this job, doing music, and then you become like this completely different person, and you only do music on Sunday mornings, or you only do music one day out of the week, and it drains you, when you are forced into different roles, and forced to be there a lot more than you agreed to.
Mm-hmm.
It's draining, and it's draining on resources. It's draining on your relationships, your family, and mental health.
Yeah.
And is there one more thing? It's draining on your physical health.
Yeah.
Your body takes a beating when you spend so many hours in places where you just don't belong, and in mindsets and mental states where you just can't sustain it.
Yeah, I think you even have a line in there about another night, can't late nights for another week, can't sleep more than 5 hours.
Yeah.
It's just when you're that booked, you don't even have the time to do it all.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and it's so fresh. It's so fresh on my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And and even you think about like you're trying to improve your mental health, and there are things scheduled over the things you schedule,
right?
To improve that,
right?
And if you have a job that does not value your mental health, get out now.
Yeah.
If you have a job that doesn't want to pay for some leave time so you can go and have a mental health day, if that's not included, figure out how to get it included.
Yeah.
Supervisors, I don't know, is this the camera?
That's your camera.
Supervisors.
Oh, here. There you go.
There you go. Supervisors, make sure you put aside time for your workers, your employees, to take mental health time.
There it is.
Because that's important. For you to do your job effectively, you need the time to find some kind of restoration, find some kind of renewal, time to renew your mind and your heart and those relationships that you have, because you're going to have day after day coming home after bedtime, after your son or daughter goes to bed. You're going to have day after day just working and locking yourself in a room doing so many different things and not spending time with family.
Yeah.
You're going to have so many days where you just don't feel like you deserve love because you're not getting that. You're watching people who don't have joy in what they do every day.
Yeah.
And then you begin to take that on. Me being super highly empathetic, and you too, you understand, taking on the emotions of other people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, it affects me. And some people, one time someone said, "Oh, you're just highly sensitive," or no, I am highly sensitive, but they said, "No, you're super offended. You're super offended." And, it just like everything I do, it just offends you. And I'm like, I don't understand that. But someone once said, they called themselves a highly sensitive person. And I now identify with that.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing.
No.
Being a highly sensitive person, you are in tune with others. And you see a lot of things that a lot of people don't see. You feel a lot of things more deeply than a lot of people don't feel. And being a highly sensitive person, things affect you just a little bit more.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I felt like I was a worker bee, and for a while, and I didn't have that balance. And now being jobless, I'm sure I have more time to just restart, which I didn't have. I haven't had for a long time, for years. Having a time. I think when you had taken me in, that was a time to reset and restart.
Yeah.
It's been since that moment. And now I have a chance to sit and think, be with my thoughts, and try to do gigs here and there, and try to keep up. But
build a new vision.
Yeah, build a new vision. So that's
vision.
where I am now, and trying to find balance. Trying to be with my family a little bit more.
Yeah. And it's so hard. It's so hard to build that balance when you don't even have, when you really can't even see what it looks like. When you don't have that idea of what the vision of that balance looks like.
Yeah.
So I really do hope this serves you well, this reset time. So
yeah.
Well, let's jump into the next song. It's another light, easy song to listen to. I say sarcastically.
Yeah. Can I talk about this song before you?
Yeah, The War Continues. Why don't you tell us about it?
So this song was originally a song. There were a lot of protests going on in the world, around the world actually, and that we got to this point where we couldn't agree on some things. We couldn't agree on a lot of difficult topics, and one was protesting. We couldn't agree on protesting, and peaceful protests, being just derailed by so many things. And we were like, we're not doing anything crazy, we're just peacefully doing this thing. And there, of course, agitators here and there, but yeah, we couldn't figure out what the right way was to get the message across. And we're like, okay. But there was this war, being in the U.S., you think, okay, we're going to other places to fight wars, but there were wars going on here, in our own communities, in our own schools, in our own, I hate saying our own culture, but in our own American culture, there were wars being fought. Sometimes there were culture wars. And we're trying to figure out how to agree on things. Sometimes simple things. So I had written that song. It was called the War Inside originally, and I wanted to include this song on this album and call it The War Continues, because some of the words have changed, some of the words are the same, and it's a little bit deeper look, and you know, it ends on a completely different note than you'd think. So
Nice. All right. Well, without further ado, the war continues.
USA, USA. There is no better country than the USA. Only problem is you can't kneel, can't march, can't speak, but you can stay silent. You want us to sit, do nothing, get blown up like other countries want to do us? Because your celebrity president wants to blow up. Because we're the best, right? We elect reality stars while we're trying to live reality. They live in dream world while we're trying to live our dreams. Instead of addressing injustice, they slam on teams. Being black in America's the funniest thing. Like, why do we still celebrate division? Confederate flags still wave right here in the South, while bullets and M-bombs still fly through the air, dropping people of color like they just don't care. We gotta keep on pushing to see another day. Gotta build up myself in other ways. We got a reason to live. We got more love to share. Why do we keep everybody down like we don't care? Talk down to me like I don't know things, and treat me like I can't feel pain. You call me snowflake, or call me wussy. Appeal to the masses by typing up tweet storms like a hurricane. How do we protest? Do we just shut up, sit down, pretend it doesn't exist? We've been trying that, but we realized how much value a flag or a song had over black lives. But never mind that. If all lives matter, why does this list keep getting longer? If the constant battles serve to make us stronger, we shall overcome. We shall overcome like our people had done before us. After so many years or more, seeing the state of this world burns me to the core, just leaves me sore. Black and brown bodies falling to the floor. If life is precious, why aren't we living longer, huh? We just want to fly. We're tired of being told our experiences are not real. How are we gonna move on if we can't confront this? We're carrying this trauma in our bodies from generation to generation. We've been carrying this around for too long, still grieving, still mourning, in need of therapy. We got a long way to go. Let's see. We gotta keep on pushing to see another day. Gotta build up myself in other ways. We got a reason to live. We got more love to share. Why do we keep everybody down like we don't care? Swell the breeze and drink from all the trees, sweet freedom song. Let mortal tongues awake, let all that breathe partake, let rocks their silence break, these sounds prolong. Our Father's God, to thee, author of liberty, to thee we sing. Long may our land be bright with freedom's holy light. Protect us by thy might, great God, our King.
So, you're speaking pretty directly again.
Mhm.
You know, we're back in that place where we're speaking in really clear images, and you know, trying to just get ourselves back to this reality, this truth that it is not equal yet. We do not have this yet.
Yeah.
We do not have a common understanding of what people should be able to do with their lives and their bodies and their minds.
Mm.
Period. And it hurts. It hurts. You know, we had talked. We had talked about how the last song on this record and the first song on this record are sort of bookends that sort of share the same hopefulness, but also share this sort of same self-image. You know, recognizing this sort of devalue of self-image.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if if you want to segue us into this last song, or if you want to reflect a little more on the previous song.
Well, the previous song, you know, it's self-explanatory. If you look at the lyrics, or if you were reading the lyrics, they're pretty heavy.
Yeah.
And but it's plainly it's talking about those days and the current times, you know, where we are still fighting for something. We're still in battle with each other, still in wars with each other. And we got to find some kind of ground where we are doing the best thing for people who inhabit this earth, this world, this country. We got to do the best thing and not just take away. So, but the next song, it kind of touches on something completely different. It touches on colorism. Something that we rarely talk about, and you see the name Moses with the good hair. You know, my family. You know, while I'm now very confident in who I am as a black person, and trying to be more in tune with black culture, that kind of brought me along. My family, you know, they come from so many different backgrounds, different cultures. So my hair is different and my skin was a lot lighter when I was growing up. And there were times when, you know, I was little and, you know, there's a line in Black by Name Only where I talked about, I've known color ever since I was a baby. And I have, you know, I hear people talking about, like, you know, don't be teaching my kid that they are racist or that because they don't see color. And I'm like, I've always seen color, because there are times when my mom wanted to send me outside to play with the other kids in the neighborhood. I said, no, I'm not going to play with those black kids. I'm not going to play with those black people, you know. And, you know, I saw myself as yellow because I was a lot lighter than them. I was yellow and they're black. And that's something that was carried for a long time, from generation to generation to generation. You know, back in the times of slavery, you know, the times that we can't teach about anymore. We can talk about MLK and how he had a dream, but we can't talk about other things. But in slavery, you know, people were separated, you know, because of, you know, how light or dark their skin was, and they were in different places. You know, even though they were all enslaved, but we carry this thing now where we compare each other because of the color of our skin, or because how we're accepted in different places, places of power. Or how good our hair looks. You know, if our hair, you know, is natural or like less curly or shiny, sometimes, you know, that's something that makes us look or makes us feel bad. You know, so we try to fix our hair up because other people will see us better. We straighten our hair. We put a relaxer in. For some people who don't know, relaxer, for black people, it straightens your hair. If you get a perm and you are, not a black person, then your hair gets curly. Things like that. So there's some cultural differences there. But in some places, women get relaxers because it straightens their hair, and but it's a whole process. And then some people call it a process because it's a whole process and it burns sometimes, and we have to go through pain to look more beautiful to some other people. So yeah, and people called me Moses with the good hair because I had curly hair and I was light skinned, and I'm a lot darker now than I was, but I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with it anymore. But it talks about that, people touching your hair, and some people, even people I was with, young ladies I would date, they would make Family Guy jokes like touching my hair and say, "Oh, that feels like sheep's wool," not knowing what a sheep feels like. But they would just talk about that and touch your hair, and they would laugh and things like that. So I mean, it's heavy stuff. Yeah. This song is still heavy, but it also talks about like being enough, because that is something you don't hear enough in different contexts. Like I said, in the black church tradition, you gain your confidence. You're around people who have gone through the fire, or who come from people who have gone through the fire, who have gone through lynchings, who have gone through all kinds of stuff that we still see today. But then, now I'm telling myself I'm enough. Just focus on being loved, because that's important. Focus on being loved. So I'm glad I ended this record on that note.
Yeah. Well, this is the last song on the record. Once we listen to this one, we're gonna transition and move some cameras around in here, and we're gonna hear you play one live for us. Thank you. This has just been everything I had hoped it was gonna be, hanging out with you, because it's pretty much how most of our get-togethers go, sitting around listening to music and talking about it.
Yeah. Not caring about time.
Not caring about time.
Time just seems to disappear.
Time doesn't... Jenny and Jess have called it Moses Alex time. It's just a different kind of time. Last song on this record, part 2 of Exodus. Is there going to be a part 3?
Probably not. I'm going to start. I've actually already started working on another record because I thought, strike while the iron's hot.
You got that energy going with the collective and all that. So
well, now I'm still celebrating the release of this one, and I already had stuff kind of in, I guess in the book. Yeah. And just written and in my notepad. And, so I'm just ready to just switch gears and do more, and also develop a little more sound, and see what else.
Try something different. Wow, I mean, you just did a whole record of that, so I can't wait to hear what the next sound's gonna be.
Yeah.
Well, this is it. Track 9, Moses with the Good Hair. Thanks, man. We're gonna listen to this one and then hear you do it live. So, awesome. All right, here we go.
Hair down to your shoulders, unibrow and brown eyes. Everything you'll encounter will make you want to hide. The voice is something that you'll learn to use. Your mind is something that'll get abused. The endless hands and fingers touching your hair. The fearful people as you walk, they stare. that never goes away, that never goes away. There's no amount of switching you can do to make sure people understand you. There's no amount that you can do to make sure people aren't afraid of you. Even though you can't see it, you are enough. No amount of broken promises can buy your trust. Even though they won't fight for us, you keep living because you are enough. You are enough. As you keep pushing forward, you'll be someone's safe black friend. They won't see you as a person that they'll need to defend. Doesn't matter your accomplishments or the ones you've loved, they'll still think your heart's as dark as the color of your face. You have nothing to prove to anyone. Make sure you're happy too. Even the path of least resistance can lead to darkness. Keep being the light you were made to be. Keep being the light. You keep being the light. You keep being the light. Even though you can't see it, you are enough. No amount of broken promises can buy your trust. Even though no one will fight for us, you keep living because you are enough. Rejection will become normal for you. Being questioned will become normal too. But focus on being loved. On being loved. You're worth more than you know or feel or can see. You are enough.
That's not Moses. So, we're going to go ahead and have a little transition here. We're moving some cameras around. Moses is going to give us a live performance on the piano, which we can be excited about. But in the meantime, probably take us about 5, maybe 5 minutes, really, truthfully, about 5 minutes. So if you need to go to the bathroom, get yourself a beverage. We'll finish out this show with Moses live on the piano with some of his track albums behind him. So yeah, hang out with us a little more. Be sure to go on Bandcamp and buy the album. That's where you want to get it. That's what goes most directly to Moses as support. So Bandcamp is your place. Moses Andrews, Moses Andrews III, music.bandcamp.com, Moses Andrews 3, music.bandcamp.com. And of course, when I say 3, I mean I. So be sure to go check it out. Moses, what do you want to listen to?
I don't think you're unmuted.
No, I'm using the computer mic.
Oh, right. Okay.
Which track you want to check out? Which track you want to show everybody?
Let's start at Bones and Stars. From the Run Out.
All right, from the Run Out. Here we go. These are all bands that Moses plays on. So enjoy the Run Out. We're just going to do some more camera stuff here while we hang out in the studio.
There are bones in the ground, and a wheel rolls on, 'cause it's round. And if you take all that you found, where will it leave you? Every bit of us was something else before, and we stare across with open hearts and wonder what's in store. And the layers to it all make it so much more mysterious that I found you. There are stars in the sky shining on us from back in time, and leave the questions in our mind, and I'll never find the answers. The sky has all turned gray, and I wonder if the stars I saw last night had gone away. Then I look into your eyes, it seems that they sparkle the same way.
spirit moves upon me, I'll be on the ground. Letting grace wash over, 'cause to hell I'm bound. He who has ears, let him hear. And to him who can, let it be clear. That a storm is coming, like we've never seen. I suggest you hit your knees, boy, 'cause it ain't no joke, it's coming again. Washed in water, I was born again. But the fire burns so brightly, and now here I stand, kicking myself for being so weak, praying on the daily, that's why I speak. What you do in darkness will be shown in light. If you think you can fool the devil, they'll be my guest. Give it a try.
All right, everybody, here we go. Obviously, this is a great list. Be sure to direct message Moses if you want to get a link to some of his projects. This is just a quick list we made today for some stuff if we needed to fill some time. And so be sure to touch base if you want to get your hands on some of that. This has been an absolute pleasure. This is studio play. This is what I want this to be. I want it to be spending time with friends and celebrating art and creativity. And I can't think of a better person to do that with than Moses. Thank you, Moses, so much. We're just going to go ahead and make sure everything's coming through here. We got the piano unmuted. We've got the vocals unmuted. And we've got Moses's track unmuted. And it's looking right. Moses, you ready to rock it?
You got that clicky click thing on you?
I got that clicky click thing unmuted. Yeah, yeah. And be sure to, if anything's up, just say the word. But yeah, this has been Studio Play. Thanks all so much for hanging out.
Thank you all. I'm feeling like I owe everybody something, barely have enough to give. Why do I always end up empty? That's no good way to live. Sick and tired of not receiving. I've given everything. Is this the end? Pouring myself out, Lord have mercy. I don't deserve any good. The way I've lived this life, given all I could. Can you hear me? Are you listening? There's no use anyway. I'm here for you, but not for me. I'm only good enough for work, not good enough for love. Late nights for another week. Can't sleep for more than 5 hours. I just wake up disappointing everybody. No love, no power. I feel the heat from the embers. My own personal dumpster fire. Am I an imposter? 'Cause I feel like an imposter. Pouring myself out, Lord have mercy. I don't deserve any good. The way I've lived this life, given all I could. Can you hear me? Are you listening? Can you hear me calling out to you? Oh,
my time, my everything. What's left? What's left of me but a hollow shell? Pouring myself out. Pouring myself out. I keep pouring myself out. Pouring myself out. Pouring myself out. Lord have mercy. I don't deserve any good. The way I've lived this life, I've given what I could. Can you hear me? Are you listening? Are you listening? Can you hear me? I'm here for you, but not for me. I'm only good enough for work, not good enough for love. Oh, I'm here for you, but not for me. I'm only good enough for work, not good enough for love. Thanks, Alex.
Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you to all who've tuned in. Thank you to all who have purchased the album. Like I said on a video earlier this week, musicians don't just become something instantly, and it takes a community believing in us. So thank you to you who believe in people like me who are just striving to be something and to share all that we have and all we are. And if you are a person who believes in things like this, I encourage you to purchase records, like albums like this. Donate to organizations like, Studio Play. If you believe in that vision and the vision of the arts community in general, just we love your contributions because it helps us develop ourselves more. It helps us replace and repair and purchase more to be able to do things like this. So thank you so much, Alex, for giving me this platform.
Yeah, man.
And thank you so much. And thank you all for tuning in. So, Alex.
Yeah. What a thrilling start for a lot of fun to come. And just thank you.
Until next time, be sure to like and subscribe and turn on notifications, because I don't usually schedule these things. I'm using this as a creation platform that I'm going to use whenever I have the time to do something. So if you are subscribed, you will get a notification that I am live, and then you can jump in the chat, and I'll be sculpting sounds. I'll be doing technology stuff in the studio with switching and cameras and audio and all kinds of things, and just monkeying around with stuff, because it's fun and I want to share that. So thanks for being here, and until next time, this has been Studio Play.
Love him, but the way you said his name, and I could see you moving, and I was the old game. Ain't nothing wrong with being forgotten, ain't nothing wrong with getting set aside. Ain't nothing wrong with hurting solo, ain't nothing wrong with broken, foolish pride. And I'm trying to get over you. Well, I guess I was hoping out more than I said, hoping that it would reignite, hoping that our love wasn't really dead. It's time to force a faceless lover in my mind. It's time to let go, time to move on, time to leave the past behind. But I don't want to leave you, and I'm trying to get over you. Oh, I'm trying to get over you, and it's not going well. I can't stop myself from thinking, so I search for some peace of mind, but it only brings me back to you each and every time. And I'm trying to get over you. I'm trying to get over you. And I'm trying to get over you. And I'm trying to get over you. She was a kind with a mind on fire, who never to tire. The longer she run, enjoying her ways in the days that flew past. How long they could last, with no shortage of fun. Do you ever say no? I can't go much longer like this. Do you ever say no? I can't go much longer like this. He was unknown, but alone he could thrive and keep the spirit alive. In his hometown, he never got paid, but he made it just fine. His job was to shine, so he never fell down. But do you ever say no? I can't go much longer like this. Do you ever say no? I can't go much longer like this. They were a pair with a flair for the good in their neighborhood. All they spread was cheer and how they survived. Yes, they thrive every day with nothing to say, since they felt it so clear. But do you ever say no? I can't go much longer like this. Do you ever say no? I can't go much longer like this. Can we talk about the weather tomorrow? Can we talk about weather tomorrow? We'll be alive enough to finally follow through with the pride that we need to swallow. No one should live a life perpetually hollow. No one should live a life perpetually hollow. No one should live a life perpetually hollow. You never say no. I can't go much longer like this. Do you ever say no? I can't go much longer like this. Do you ever say no? I can't go much longer like this.
Walking through this coffee shop, it's hard for me to see another action made my reaction to victims of peculiar things. But if you give me a hammer, you better know that I'm a fine nail. And if you take away a broken heart, then good love will prevail. And you've never seen irony personified. Well, here I am, take a look, you see, it's exactly what I plan to be. You think of me only when your love's gone. What can it be? What can it be? Must be irony. Oh, metaphorical for thinking outside of the box I'm living in. Oh, if I question, give my confession, it's me that made the sin. Oh, but my brain loves battling my pride, and they always make a good fight. And if you take away the money and fame, they lead me back into the light. And you've never seen irony personified. Well, here I am, take a look, you see, it's exactly what I plan to be. You think of me only when your love's gone. What can it be? What can it be? Must be irony. And I've never been to places that I wanna go. Well, here I am, and if I look, I find it only made me happy in my mind. I thought of you only when my love left. What can it be? What can it be? Must be irony.
You got the time, you got the place picked out, and you know just how you want it to be. Where I am then, it don't matter much. Looks like you love the idea more than you love me. Where you are is where I wanna be. Where you are is where I wanna be. Stuff it inside, it gets easier. You've got your friends to help you get by. You've got a way of saying everything with not a breath at all. Where you are is where I wanna be. Where you are
It's another day. The birds are chirping out my way. No longer wasting away. No longer feeling the blood drip down my face. There's another way. Just come out to where I stay. Inside the circle, where I can give a fuck about what orbits me. Nothing to say. Words just get in the way. Spoken chameleons, shape-shifting the tongues and meanings on me.
won't be televised. The revolution won't be televised. The revolution won't be, nah. The revolution won't be televised. The revolution won't be televised. The revolution won't be televised. The revolution won't be, nah. The revolution won't be televised. Nah. The revolution won't be televised. The revolution won't be televised. The revolution won't be televised. One place in the air. Yeah. One place in the air. Yeah. One place in the air. Yeah. One place in the air. I swagged out like X-Pac, come rare like that. You hear the voices in your head, you ignore the fact the child is grown, the vision's gone. Complete the cycle, but the trial is done. I'm fully loaded automatic guns. They're bullied in the skull, broken homes. The feedback's in my microphone test. Yes, I'm the best in the world. Can you hear me now? Turn me up, can you hear me now? Turn me up, can you hear me now? Turn me up, right? No work, yeah, no play. And they say, well, boy, you're lazy. And I know they're watching me. Cause I'm your new obsession. And they wanna criticize. Circumcised, so loud the don't mind what they say to me. We turn off that TV. And I'd rather watch you do it. Yeah. Okay, yeah. One piece in me. So play court, learn who you are. Then sit around, riding a jar. Of you and nothing that you think we care. The well wishes run the mic downstairs. Now push up, come on and light me up. We let that bang that can get enough. I think they lie, they cover lies. Revolution won't be televised. Love, can you hear me now? Tell me up, can you hear me now? Tell me up, can you hear me now? Tell me up. No work, yeah, no play. And they say, well, boy, you're lazy. And I know they're watching me. Cause I'm your new obsession. And they wanna criticize. Circumcised, so my little mind. What they say to me. You turn off that TV. And I'd rather watch you do it. Revolution will be televised. The 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 revolution will be televised. It's what we do. Do you know where your kids are at? It's what we do. Do you know where your kids are at? It's what we do. Do you know where your kids are at? It's what we do. Do you know where they at? It's what we do. Do you know where your kids are at? It's what we do. Do you know where your kids are at? It's what we do. Do you know where your kids are at? It's what we do. Do you know where they at? It's what we do. Do you know where your kids are at? It's what we do. Do you know where your kids are at? It's what we do. Do you know where your kids are at? It's what we do. Do you know where they at? It's what we do. Do you know where your kids are at? It's what we do. Do you know where your kids are at? It's what we do. Do you know where your kids are at? It's what we do. Do you know where they at? Turn off, turn off, turn off, turn off, turn
I know exactly what you want. I know exactly what you need. I know exactly where you're from. I know exactly what you mean. Why? 'Cause I'm a psych major and I'm a mind-reading machine. Woo! Some people ask me what I do. Some people ask me where I work. They ask me where I went to school. Sometimes they ask me with a smirk. And when I tell them that I went to UC Berkeley and I majored in exactly what you want. I know exactly what you need. I know exactly where you're from. I know exactly what you need. Why? 'Cause I'm a psych major and I'm a mind-reading machine. Woo! I know I'm naturally smart, but lack the talent of Descartes. See, I'm the master of the heart. I have a Bachelor of Arts. I know my models of attachment and the causes of attraction. I could even break it down to its parts. But I can see you're not impressed by the degree that I possess. And based on how you use success, why you might think it's useless. What you don't know is that I see your inhibitions and your deepest superstitions, all the broken dreams you're keeping repressed. I know exactly what you want. I know exactly what you need. I know exactly where you're from. I know exactly what you need. Why? 'Cause I'm a psych major and I'm a mind-reading machine. Woo! From the hard science guys to the social science haters, trying to hate on me 'cause I'm a social psych major. I can't write code, but I sure can write papers, and I know you're weird and fetish and your most pathetic failure. So come on, baby, let me analyze you. Let me find out what has traumatized you. I can read you like an open book, 'cause I'm a Berkeley psych major, baby. Don't be shook. Why? I know exactly what you want. I know exactly what you need. I know exactly where you're from. I know exactly what you need. Why? 'Cause I'm a psych major and I'm a mind-reading machine. Woo! I know exactly what you want. I know exactly what you need. I know exactly where you're from. I know exactly what you need. Why? 'Cause I'm a psych major and I'm a mind-reading. I'm a psych major and I'm a mind-reading. I'm a psych major and I'm a mind-reading machine. Woo!
You say all you want is happiness, even just for a moment, and I can provide. Am I helping the wounds heal, or am I just helping the pain subside? You disappear and expect me right where you left me in tears. Reconsider, baby. I know that you hate me, but I can't live without you. I know I deserve it, but you deny my service. And with you gone, what do I do? Reconsider, baby. I know that you hate me, but I can't live without you. I know I deserve it, but you deny my service. And with you gone, what do I do? We're both hurting each other in the long run, but for right now, we're calling it love, baby. I know you too well. Trying to get you to heaven, but you put me through hell. You disappear and expect me right where you left me in tears. Reconsider, baby. I know that you hate me, but I can't live without you. I know I deserve it, but you deny leave me, 'cause